I mean, this is very much a highlights-based sport.
Everything I knew is gone. The ground beneath me turned to air. Whatever can I do when the horizon disappeared?
There's a lie floating around these days that basketball is much better now than it was in the past. That today's game is smarter, more skilled, more evolved. We've broken down the game into smaller and smaller pieces and analyzed them, and added new labels, and put things into categories. We've learned to count everything: efficiency percentages, shot charts, spacing metrics. We talk about the game like engineers solving an equation. Players and coaches have invented new terms and phrases to describe the game in almost unnecessary detail. And for many people, it feels like we are definitely moving forward. It tickles a part of our brain to break the game into smaller and smaller parts. It makes us feel good when we have the newest language to talk about the sport. But is it true? Are today's players better? Is the game itself better? Well, let me put it like this. I guess so. But we've lost something. In this series, I'm attempting to dig down and find out what that is. It is hard for most of us to describe, but watching basketball used to feel more like listening to your favorite song than watching people solve math problems. And for those of us who grew up watching in past decades, well, something is missing. What do I mean that it felt more like listening to your favorite song? Well, let's think about what a song is. A song isn't just the notes. It's the invisible relationship between them, the pause that creates rhythm, the breath between lyrics, the relationship between the notes creating tensions and resolutions. If you only played the notes and not the rhythm, it wouldn't be a song. You're just producing sound. You could say that you got everything right, you played all the notes, and you were more efficient by playing them all at once, but would it be the same thing? Basketball works in a similar way. Don't get me wrong, breaking down the game is essential. That's what you do in practice, just like practicing scales on an instrument. But then all that analysis has to disappear in the performance. The player must become present with what they're attempting to do. A piano player who has mastered the song will just play. The practice will fade away in the performance. And here's the thing, the game of basketball is simple. As complicated as we can make it in the breakdown, there are really only two objectives, and those fall in under a single goal. The goal is to win the game. And the two objectives are 1, to score, and 2, stop the other team from scoring. That's it. For many older fans, the modern basketball game simply feels different. And as much as we talk stats, it is never really an honest comparison. Once the rules shift, talking about stats is almost pointless. And because they change fairly often, and more importantly, how the rules are enforced changes from game to game, stats are only a vague shadow of what happened in an actual game. But for us older fans, the game, well, it used to be simple. That sounds like a bad thing, but it wasn't. Believe me, it was a good thing. The players of decades past seemed to keep that simplicity with them as they played, and the simplicity allowed them to remain present in the moment and not overthink or overcalculate. They stayed present in the pauses, not only the highlights. And none did that better than Michael Jeffrey Jordan. There are two invisible areas of basketball that guide how a game is experienced: the rhythm between the stats and the invisible connection between players. The spaces where most players rest, drift, wait for their moment, or think about their podcast, Jordan filled those spaces with presence. He was playing the song fully, not just waiting for his turn. Today, we're going to explore two questions. First, how did Jordan stay present in the invisible rhythm of the game when most players only find it accidentally? And second, how did one player's presence create an invisible connection that pulled everyone into the same flow? Answer these and you'll understand why the game used to feel like music. But first, Why is staying present so hard? A neuroscientist named Iain McGilchrist studied how our brain's two hemispheres see the world differently. The left hemisphere, the emissary, is your calculator. It breaks things into pieces, analyzes them. In basketball, this is your IQ, your mechanics. The right hemisphere, the master, sees the whole song. It doesn't break things apart, it feels the rhythm. Here's the key. We need both. The emissary practices the skill, but only the master can perform in real time. Most players today play with the emissary calling the shots. They execute plays, hit their spots, and when they lose, they say, "I executed the game plan perfectly." But between possessions, when the ball isn't in their hands, they drift into calculation mode, waiting for the next note. Jordan played differently. He trusted the work he did in practice and let the master take over. He stayed present. He played the music. Now let's answer those two questions. 100%. Michael Jordan played all 82 games in 9 different seasons, including his final year at age 40. This isn't about durability, it's about practicing presence. When you show up 100% of the time, presence becomes a habit. Watch old footage carefully. When Jordan doesn't have the ball, he doesn't check out. He's holding his attention on the invisible rhythm of the game. While other players take a possession off mentally, Jordan fills that silence with focus, a focus that few can even see, let alone practice. But here's the real question. How is this different from what we see today? Most players find the rhythm accidentally. Everything clicks for a moment, then they lose it again. Jordan didn't wait for the rhythm, he sought it out. He forced his will onto it. He wasn't just playing his own instrument or his own notes, he was dictating the tempo of the entire game. Every possession mattered. Every moment between the highlights was an opportunity to impose his rhythm. Jordan once told Kobe Bryant to feel the defense with your legs. Not calculate, feel. The emissary analyzes, he's shading left so I should drive right. The master just moves. It takes in everything at once. It feels the game like the rhythm of a song. The game doesn't pause between highlights, and neither did he. Finding the rhythm yourself is hard enough, but a whole team finding it, well, this is so rare that when you experience it, you will end up later in life trying to describe it to younger fans and saying, you just don't get what it was like. The 1996 Bulls, the only team in history to rank #1 in both offensive rating and defensive rating in the same season. Individual presence is one thing, but how does one player's consciousness affect 4 other people? Think about architecture. The Pantheon isn't impressive because of the bricks, it's impressive because of how the empty space is shaped. Is it the walls or the space they create together? Basketball isn't about individual players, it's about the invisible connection between them. But how do you build that connection? Jordan's teammates said it over and over. Practices were harder than games. Jordan made the environment so intense that his teammates had no choice but to enter his rhythm. His presence was so complete, it became contagious. He was the tip of the spear, and you could feel the other players, teammates and opponents, becoming part of that connection. Jordan talked about this constantly, the team's chemistry, how you can't step out and back into it, how it takes time to build, how it's fragile and can fall apart easily. The way some players talk today, it's as if they have no clue this is such a foundational aspect of the game. If you want to play at the highest levels, you must transcend the individual skill and engraft yourself into a team. And when it clicks, it is like a single organism. We hear, how could we lose? Look at the individual talent. But individual talent is almost irrelevant without cohesion. The invisible connection is what makes a team great. The trouble is, there is no stat line that shows this. There are few words to describe it, and coaches have no clue how to coach it. Even though it is nearly impossible to see, we do see it. You can see it in the numbers, the greatest offense and defense, simultaneously. That's what happens when 5 players stop executing 5 different roles and start playing the same song. That's what happens when one player builds that connection through relentless practice, through demanding presence from everyone, through never allowing anyone to step outside that flow. We've become very good at counting the notes, shot charts, efficiency ratings, advanced metrics. We talk about basketball like it's a math problem. But basketball isn't math, and Michael Jordan wasn't a mathematician. The game used to feel different because it was built on 2 invisible things: the rhythm between the highlights, where most players rest and Jordan imposed his will, where others stumbled into flow and he demanded it. And the invisible connection between players, that fragile chemistry Jordan created through practices so intense they made games feel easy. The highlights were just the peaks. The real architecture was everything in between. Jordan's presence pulled his entire team into a flow state that stats can't measure and highlights won't show you. 5 players moved as one, not by accident, not just in the playoffs, because of one player's capacity to be present when others were scattered. When others overthought the game, he played it like a song. But presence alone doesn't build a dynasty. To sustain that level of focus requires something else. In Part 3, the lesson of the loss, how the modern mentality of conflict avoidance creates confusion in the game. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.